Hey, what's up guys, this is Brad with Spike Fitness, and we're gonna do another form check video today. This is Tyler Turner, sent me, I don't know, 6 or so videos. There's probably 2 that we're gonna look at because most of it is more or less the same. And yeah, we'll check out Tyler's deadlift and we'll see what we see. Let's get into it. Three 15 by 5 from the front. Breathe. You look like you're able to get your breath before you come down and engage the weight, and that's a good thing. Using what appears to be hook grip. Sits down. And now see these toes, stuff coming up? I would be more focused with getting a good firm base and making sure I'm completely planted kind of before I engage the weight. It does come back down, but you can see it you almost rock up on your toes. You see that little bit on the heels, up on the toes, on the heels, up on the toes. So here, from this position, it almost looks like you might be off balance by having a little bit too much weight up on your toes. And drives, not bad. So again, we can kind of see that back angle again, doesn't really change till you get toward the top, and then you lock it out. Touch and go with the hook grip. I like it. Change his grip. I think we go to under over now. Reset for the Eddie Hall. Pull. I feel like you're more upright in this position. I don't know, maybe I'm on something, but I feel like back might have been a little bit more engaged on that particular rep. Now watch the knees there. See the little bit of the movement in the knees. Again, if you're in dead or if you're actually in competition, some that little bit of extra knee movement might cost you. Some reps get a little fussy. That position, that eccentric position, I like. You know, you're lowering the bar right where it needs to be. And not much to say here. Again, but just look at the feet. You know, look down at the feet, and you can see kind of some of the movement, that back and forth rocking with the feet. That might be something that I would caution. But that's pretty much it. All right, let's take a look at the deadlift here. Tyler's setup. It's hard to tell how close that bar is to his shins. It appears, Tyler, that the bar is right on your shin. That's not something I normally recommend. I would normally recommend it be a little bit away. Although the arm angle that you have is good to some extent, it's usually recommended that the shoulder be a little bit in front of where the bar is. Again, if that bar is too close to the shin, that angle may be too much. Although you kind of correct that by sitting way back like this. So you sit, and then here you can see the shoulder is just right in front of the bar. But again, I bet that bar is right on your shin, so I would recommend maybe keep it away from the shin just a little bit. The sitting down method, kind of like the Eddie Hall, you know, I've never found it to be terribly comfortable for myself, but this doesn't seem to be inhibiting you. So 365, I don't know what that represents as your 1 rep max, you know, but I can imagine here that you're getting a pretty vertical shin angle. So if doing that is comfortable for you, then that's I guess the important part. It is important to notice that your hips rise to almost here before the ground, or before the plate breaks the floor. So if sitting down, you know, that far is doing something for you physically or psychologically, then keep it up. But just know that the bar isn't moving until you're getting up here. So those hips are rising considerably before you're generating the force necessary to move it. The hips shoot up quite a bit. So that's a lot of leg strength, right? Manifesting itself. Legs are shooting up, but that back really hasn't moved at all right here. And then the hips are almost entirely locked out, and then we're kind of ratcheting the back up. Again, 365 doesn't appear to be very difficult for you, but you can just see it's almost that two-part kind of movement that I usually recommend against. You know, hips shoot up, and then you're just kind of extending the back to get the bar in place. All right, now beyond that, watch your feet if you can here. You see, it looks like the weight of the majority of your weight is out on the toes there, and then as you pull, you can see that rocking in the foot. So I wouldn't recommend necessarily pulling with these shoes because that's some movement that you're not necessarily intending. And again, any unintended movement is going to be loss of power. So I might recommend a different set of footwear, something with less squishy soles and or bare feet, socks, whatever. Back down. See, I like this position here, where you go here. As you lower the bar, your body's pretty much going into a natural position. So I can tell that this bar is a little bit further away from your shin. You got a good back angle. You got a good arm angle. You got a good head angle. That seems like a kind of a neutral head. And down, right? And then touch and go, basically up. And that second rep is pretty smooth, but again, you're kind of guilty of those hips shooting up. But the overall, just kind of the movement and the pace of it, especially that eccentric piece, you know, I like that eccentric movement. I like how you're in that position right there. I would almost recommend, you know, working on some back work to help that back come up, because that back angle doesn't change. From here's on the ground, back angle doesn't really change until you're up past your knee. So that might be something to look into. Reset your hands. Now, I also like that you're working on some of your grip strength. I see that you're not strapping in, and that's good. So if you're working, you know, just practice with grip, that might be an okay thing. But I'm also never a big fan of sacrificing bigger muscles for smaller ones. So I might recommend using, you know, no straps to get up to your working weights. But in terms of the execution of your reps or, you know, things like that, it may be more beneficial for you to have those straps in, so you can maintain that, you know, that weight on you. Because here, you know, you're essentially, the weight is not on you. Here, you've let go, you readjust your hands, you reset, and you re-engage. So this whole time here, that weight's not actually on you, so you're kind of limiting your time under tension. If you had straps on, you know, you can kind of maintain that tension and increase your time under tension. Just something to think about. It's very nitpicky, but it may make a difference for you. Reset, back to the Eddie Hall. Hips come up, bar comes up. And again, look at that. Look at all the movement is in the hips, right? And the knees. And then we get the back movement here to finish out the movement. Then just be careful on that lean back. On some of the other videos, you're trying to lean back a good amount. It looks like you might be unhinging the knee. So just watch that, especially if you're into competition. All right, so Tyler, that's my thoughts on your deadlift 365 by 3. All right, Tyler, thank you for sending the videos. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to kind of weigh in and take a look at what you got going on. And you know, hopefully some of the thoughts, advice, things that I'm seeing maybe will help you a little bit, get a little bit more solid. Altogether, Tyler, I think that you have a really great deadlift. The weight that I'm seeing you move isn't that taxing for you. So I would be curious. I wonder what this represents as your one rep max, because these movements don't seem to be terribly taxing for you. in the future, you know, something that's a little bit higher on the intensity, you know, toward that 1 rep max, you know, an absolute 3 rep max, something like that might be beneficial, because obviously then the closer you get toward the top end, the more those deficiencies and imbalances and things are going to start kind of manifesting themselves. But all in all, I think you did a great job. The deadlift looks good. You're moving the weight, appears to be fairly efficiently and easily. Again, my biggest criticism of what I'm seeing is those hips shooting way up and not really activating the back until later into the pull. One thing to kind of abate that, I might recommend taking kind of a small band or a smaller band and just set it over the bar to the point where you can stand on it, and then as you pull, it starts to get some band tension. Something like that may get you to kind of be a little bit more upright and keep that back up, so that it's not this kind of pronounced back movement or back extension to finish out the movement. Give that a try and see how it feels, and see if it helps the situation. And then also, like I said, some different footwear. Anyway, guys, that's it. Tyler, again, thanks for the video. I appreciate the opportunity to help, and I appreciate you guys checking out the video. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, leave in the chat box below. I will respond. I appreciate you guys watching, and you know, it's getting close to Christmas as I film this, so I wish you guys happy holidays in whatever it is that you celebrate, or however you celebrate. And yeah, hit me up with those likes, the shares, and the subs. Appreciate you. And yeah, remember, guys, no matter what it is that you can't do, train despite. You're either going to find an excuse or you're going to find a way. And I hope you guys continue to find that way. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.